Don't listen or anything.
There we go.
Yep.
You guys hear me?
All right, welcome back, everyone. We definitely appreciate you guys watching. This is going to be the first show of the Firewatch, is what I'm going to call it. And I decided to go with this, with some type of name, just to have it organized here in the channel. I mean, we have a bunch of chats, but they're not really organized. So by doing this, is kind of gonna organize the whole channel into, you know, whatever we talk about and all that good stuff. So anyways, with that said, we definitely appreciate everybody watching. There's a bunch of guys here, the regulars, the new subscribers, the old subscribers. All you guys watching is freaking awesome. Thank you so much, as always. We're going to talk about ISIS. We're going to talk about the threat of this people. We're going to talk about Iraqi forces being, you know, not having the will to fight. We're going to talk about Ramadi. We're going to talk about some concealed carry stuff. You know, things to avoid, and we're just gonna have a good time, and we're gonna talk about whatever you guys put in the comments. So again, we are not Esper by any means, other than Nick is the only Esper in here. But other than Nick, we are not Esper. So everything is based on our opinions and based on the information that we know, based on experiences and all that good stuff. So with that being said, we're going to do a quick intro. You guys know me, JH6, you in the channel. If you're watching this in a different platform, if you come into the channel, we have the comments on the right-hand side, and we could keep track of the comments. If not, I won't be able to keep track of comments everywhere. But definitely like the video if you like this type of video. Share the video, you know, dislike the video, whatever you guys want to do, do that. Starting, we got echo. Can you hear me? Okay, got it. Tommy, 12 gauge Tommy, you want to do an intro, bro?
Roger that, brother. What's up, everybody? Tommy here. Definitely wanted to say thanks to JH6 first for inviting me back on to the chat tonight. And yeah, just like he was saying, it just sounds like we got a bunch of things to talk about tonight, and I'm anxious just to jump in and give my thoughts, my opinions, and just what I think about everything about what's going on. So. As JH6 said, I'm a former U.S. Marine myself, so I'm looking forward to getting in on the stuff about, you know, ISIS and Iraq, that sort of thing. I've been carrying concealed for several years now, so I'm looking to, of course, bring my thoughts into that as well, and just have a good time, as I'm sure we all are, and looking forward to the chat tonight with everybody.
Cool, bro. We got all the links are down below in the description box. Just click there, and all the channels are there, so you could just go and subscribe. Major League Shooter, bro. What's going on?
What's going on, guys? Like I said, Major League Shooter. Basically, I have two deployments to Afghanistan, so I basically have some pretty basic, or not basic, but understanding on these Middle Eastern fighters, if you will, which I will definitely put in my 2 cents in this conversation. So I hope you guys enjoy my my opinion is slightly different than most other people's, which I personally like because it creates discussion points, if you will. So with that being said, you know, once again, I'm glad you guys watching JH6. He's a great guy and everything. So yeah, let's get this conversation going.
Thanks, man. What's up, Nick? What you got?
Oh, I'm just, you know, I'm here. I'm glad to be here on the, what's the name of your channel? Brazilian chat? Is that it?
No, you didn't.
You know,
Just because you say that, I don't know if I want to carry Temple Index, my 42 or my 43.
I thought it was Brazilian grinder.
Now that is funny. That is awesome. No, man, thanks for having me on. Obviously, a real loaded panel here. I think this is going to be a great show, man.
Cool. Thanks a lot. What about you, Stone? Do a quick intro. Stone still there. Let's go to Alabama Owens.
Yeah.
Are you there? Go.
No, go ahead. I couldn't get my button to click off mute.
Everybody.
So this is Stone Guy 223 on YouTube. Stone Guy 223 on Instagram. Again, I appreciate the invite. Jarhead's a great guy. Always runs a good chat. So thanks for everybody that's tuning in tonight. And it's always going to be a good show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. What about you, Alabama Owens?
I'm the Alabama Owens, and I make YouTube videos sometimes, occasionally, every once in a while. Appreciate JH6 inviting me on. I've been kind of absent from YouTube for a while. Life gets in the way sometimes. But guns, gear, prepping, stuff like that on my channel. Looking forward to the chat tonight.
Cool, bro. And finally, the Delaware Patriot.
How's it going, guys? You guys, most of you know my channel. Thanks to JH6 for having me here. Former Marine myself, although I don't have the combat tour experience that some of these guys have. But you guys know my deal. Fellow Patriot, Second Amendment guy, outdoorsman, survivalist, bushcraft, etc., etc. Looking forward to getting this thing going. Looking forward to giving my opinions. And look out for my new videos, Brazilian man-on-man massage.
Why did I tell you guys that? All right, so again, the whole joke goes back to some troll that called me gay Brazilian the other day. Which again, why would he call me gay Brazilian? I have no idea, but it is what it is. I know Tyler East knows what I'm talking about. So let's start this out. So we got a bunch of guys here in the chats. Thank you so much. And we're gonna start with this thing with ISIS. And Ramadi was one of those crazy battles that happened. I think the first one happened in 2004. Then we had another one that happened in 2006, and Marines were there. And if you're not aware, Ramadi is the capital of Anbar, which is a province in Iraq. So essentially you have this place. Anbar was a really bad place that Marines were sent there. So of course there were some Army guys there, some Air Force. There's always a good amount of people there, but primarily Marines took over Anbar because it was a really bad place, and that was the mission that Marines were giving. Now, this is 2004. So 2003, I went to Iraq in 2003 to the first push. We left thinking that we were never gonna come back, and next thing you know, we're back in Anbar, taking care of business there and going through operations. So now we have a city that took a lot of life. A lot of Marines die, a lot of military guys die. I'm sure Army, everybody die. Military members die, and now the city, again, the city's lost. And the thing that really pisses me off, and some of you guys probably agree, is because the Carter, Mr. Carter, the U.S. Defense Secretary or whatever, he said, and this is what he said in the news, that the city fall because Iraqi forces pretty much didn't have the will to fight. So to me, that's like a huge deal. Like we spend, I don't even know how many millions of dollars we spend, a bazillion money trying to train these guys. We gave them weapons, we gave them airplanes, we told them how to use guns, we showed them how to do patrols, tactics, all this crap. And what do? They don't want to fight. So they pretty much give away the city. So, I mean, what do you guys got to say on that? You guys got any take on that?
I basically agree with you, although I don't agree we should have left. I think it was too early for us to leave, but I think what we could have done is train them and have them go on missions by themselves, or at least more unsupervised, so that they can get a feel for it and basically learning as they go along, building their own level of experience. Because basically what we did is we trained them. We always took the lead in every single mission that we went on with them, and in doing so, they got too comfortable and relied too much on us. And in turn, created a bunch of people who basically relied so much on us that they didn't want to do anything on their own. They didn't feel comfortable enough, basically going on missions, taking care of it by themselves. So in a sense, I think we should have stayed there and supervised from a distance instead of 100% packing up our bags and leaving. Because I mean, basically, it was just opening up the door for a disaster, which is basically what's going on right now with the whole ISIS situation.
Well, the problem I have, and I'm not military, and so I don't have as much understanding as some of you guys, but I talked to an Air Force financial person. It was a lady that was basically in charge of the allotment of funds for building, rebuilding for schools and for all these things. Basically, her job was to oversee the finances and check the box for the money. So anyway, so she was right in the mix of everything going on, and the numbers that she quoted me, she's retired now, where they would go and build a school or these bazaars and all these, trying to rebuild the infrastructure over there, and then in a week it would be torn down, bombed, burned, destroyed, and we would just go back and build it again. And she said, you just wouldn't believe the amount of money that's just wasted, just poured into these communities over there, just to see them destroyed again. And so it's at what point do you stop? It's almost like an exercise in futility when you keep pouring this money in and trying to help these people that aren't willing to help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand the logic that our government sees fit to do that when we have our own struggles, and our own people that need help. It just baffles me.
Well, I think.
Yeah.
Are you going to say something?
Go ahead, brother.
No, I was going to say, I think it's a bigger, deeper thing, at least for me anyway. You look at the whole reason that we were in Iraq to begin with. You look at everything that happened post 9/11. The whole reason that we went to Iraq was supposedly to find, WMDs, the infamous weapons of mass destruction, which were never there. So, you can go a lot of different directions with this whole Iraq war thing. There's why were we there in the first place? After we discovered that the WMDs weren't there, why didn't we leave then? Or when we did finally leave, why didn't we leave some sort of security force in place that could protect everything that our troops died for, regardless if you are on agreement of why we ever went there, or if you feel like that it was any kind of conspiracies behind it or whatever. The fact is that we lost a lot of good men and women over there. And regardless of what that reason was for, we just backed out. We left, and we didn't leave anything in place. And we literally gave up everything that we fought and died for, regardless if it was worth fighting or dying for. So when you look at it from that aspect by itself, just the simple fact that we just backed out, you got to ask yourself, at what point, who made that decision to say, this is what we fought for? They knew how hard we fought. Now we're just going to leave. We're going to leave the Iraqi people to it. And all those lives that we lost, all those American lives, are basically, for what? For what now? And I think that's what pisses me off more than anything about it. The fact that we were even over there to begin with. If you tie the Iraq war to 9/11, well, they were all Saudis and from the United Arab Emirates, right? And we went into where? Afghanistan and Iraq. We didn't go into Saudi Arabia. We didn't go anywhere else. So that's beef number one for me. And then, like I said, we lost all these troops over there, and then we just abandoned ship. So, and what would you expect to happen when you fight your ass off for this territory, and you put American lives on the line, and then all of a sudden you just bam, you're gone basically overnight. We all knew what the Iraqi army was, and we all know what the Iraqi army is, regardless of how much training we give them, regardless of how much money we give them, regardless of how much equipment we give them. We know who these people are. We understand that they basically do not want to stand up for themselves, and they give things up easily. So now here's everything that our brothers died for is gone. And now we're counting on these people that turn their backs on us over there from time to time to all of a sudden stand up and draw a line in the sand and fight. The whole thing is just full of so much hypocrisy and bureaucratic red tape. I mean, it pisses me off in so many ways.
Yeah. You know, here's the thing that I think about this. I mean, there is so much corruption there. And when it goes down to Ramadi and Fallujah was one of the worst battles ever in 2004, actually in the whole Iraq. And I wasn't part of the fight, but we did operations right next to Fallujah. I mean, the moment that started, we got hit with car bombs. We got hit with IED strikes. I mean, it was insane when that fight started. And then, you know, many people died, just like Ramadi, and then we lost the fight. I mean, we lost the city. So here's the question, because you're talking about the things that we fought for, and then we die, and we didn't, I mean, it was in vain pretty much, and we didn't left anyone there to protect those things. But was it ours to protect? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't our country to protect. It wasn't our people to go and fight for. And when it comes down, I mean, I go back to 2003 because I remember when September 11 happened, because I just joined the Marine Corps, and I remember how Afghanistan was all in the news saying, hey, we got Osama bin Laden and we got this and we got that, and next thing you know, we go into Iraq. And to me, I mean, I was like 20 years old back then. To me, it was kind of weird. Like, what do you mean Afghanistan is saying that they do have him? We're trying to get this guy and take over this guy, but we end up going into Iraq. To me, that didn't make sense, but, you know, I was a young kid, joined the military, and did what we were supposed to do. But to me, like, the biggest thing is, like, ISIS is a threat. They have the capability to come into the United States and commit an attack. They could do that over social media. They don't even have to come here. They could motivate somebody enough to commit a crime. But at the same time, do we have to go there and fight the fight anymore? You know what I'm saying? We don't have to. That's not our country. I mean, there's terrorist groups in Mexico, Colombia, all the South America countries. There are terrorist groups there. They are doing training and have the ability to attack us, but you don't see us in Colombia. You don't see us in Mexico. I mean, there's bad people out there. So, and again, you know, I feel bad for the people, because these people are really bad. I mean, they killing little girls and they're raping little girls. So somebody should do something about it. But how can we go there and teach those guys to be men? We don't have to teach them how to use a rifle. We have to teach them how to be men. That's what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be men. I can't tell you, hey, look, dude, if somebody's killing your little neighbor, your little daughter, and raping your daughter, you should do something about it. That should come from you. You know what I'm saying? There's no PowerPoint presentation that I could, like, click and read to you to teach you how to be a man and tell you that it's not okay for your daughters to die and become sex slave. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah, absolutely, Jarhead. You're making a good bit of sense. And just one thing I want to point out, you know, while we're getting things started here and whatnot, you know, a lot of the comments that you guys are making and that you just hear people make in general, you know, about how, you know, we send troops over there and we can sit and we can wonder, you know, why did it happen? You know, who were we after? All that kind of thing. But the bottom line is that, you know, we were there. You know, we can't change history. It's over and done with.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's a former Marine. I don't think we died in vain. You know, nobody died in vain or whatever. You know, and it's like, you know, we were there. We trained these people. You know, we gave them the tools that they needed. You know, this is how, you know, you make a checkpoint. This is how you search a vehicle, and et cetera, et cetera. You know, and it was their decision. You know, say, okay, well, here we go. You know, so a lot of you don't want us here. Good to go. So we're going to train you, give you the tools that you need to stop these people from doing bad things to your people. So now it's on your hands, you know, to watch. And like same thing on this major league shooter who was saying just about how, you know, more likely a lot of them just get comfortable with us being there. You know, they got used to, you know, okay, we're going to call on the Americans to come and save us, whether it's, you know, Army, Marines, whoever. Okay, they're here. They've got the best guns, the best equipment, blah blah blah. You know, we're going to count on them to save us now. Okay, and you know, again, at the end of the day, it was their decision to turn and run. They didn't have to. You know, that was just, you know, for whatever reason they had, that was their thing. You know, and you can see, I don't want to, make anybody mad or piss anybody off. But, I mean, like I said, it's a lot of, you hear a lot of the same thing that happened with Vietnam about, should we have been there? Should we have not have been there? But again, in Vietnam, that was a lot of, fighting communism and stuff that could have potentially, posed a threat to us. At the same time, Vietnam, people say that was a waste of life. At the same time, for me anyway, it's just that's showing the world we're not going to tolerate the crap. We're not going to, deal with, you want to hurt us, this, that, and the other thing. And it's just like, from the current standpoint, with ISIS, taking responsibility for attacks inside the U.S., you look at they have open borders, Canada and Mexico and that kind of thing. And it's like, for me, at this point, I think the best thing we can do, if we're going to have a safer country, a safer United States and that kind of thing, we need to focus on our security, on the resources that we have right here, to make sure they can't get in. Okay, we need to seal the borders off. I'm not saying don't let anybody in. If somebody wants to come into this country and contribute something, become an American, by all means, come in. You can come in. We'll get you what you need so you can start working, contributing something, and become an American. But just leaving them wide open like a floodgate is how we're going to have problems here.
Yeah.
And I just think if we're going to make a difference, for the United States, for our country, that's where we need to start, I think. Is just focusing on making it safer here.
What you got, Major Lee?
Yeah, what I think to be honest, ISIS is really not as big a threat as people think, in my opinion. I think they're a bunch of weenies, for lack of better words, and to be honest, we can destroy them so quick, but the United States has to be committed, right? So I think, to be honest, we need to be putting more troops on ground, destroy the threat as quickly and effectively as possible, and then once they have their country back or whatever you want to call it, we should back out. Have them take the front, the leading force, the hammer, if you will. Have them take care of their own country. Once that happens, I strongly think we need to empower not just our allies but our neighbors as well. And what I mean by neighbors is Canada and Mexico. And more specifically Mexico, because I think the threats coming from Mexico, and I'm talking about the Mexican drug cartels, the fact that ISIS themselves is operating in Mexico, I think we should empower those countries, more, for the simple fact that if there is a threat to the United States, it's not going to come through missiles because we have missile defense. It's not going to come through the sea because we have very strong Navy. It's not going to come through any of that, but right through our borders, basically. And I think we need to empower our neighbors because they're the ones who need to take the front line as well within their country to stop the threat that is which is a viable threat as well within their borders of their own country. And Mexican drug cartels, to be honest, I think are a lot worse than ISIS. ISIS is just is like the Chihuahua syndrome. They have a very they're not as strong as they think. It's like like special operations and stuff like that. They like to create a lot of noise to make it sound and look like there's a lot of people there engaged in a firefight when in all reality there's probably 5 or 6 of them. That same concept applies to ISIS. There really is not that many people that operate through under the ISIS flag, but they like to pretend and gather a bunch of people in one little propaganda video to create the illusion that there is actually a lot of ISIS operators, if you will. And which kind of leads me to this whole ISIS propaganda with their training, their special operations training video that they came out with.
That was so funny.
That made me laugh so hard. I was like, dude, these guys are a joke. Like, they are not strong. People. I think their propaganda is working to the mass amount of Americans who do not understand what tactics are, do not understand what proper military engagement is. You know what I mean? So with that being said, if we want to, we can destroy them really fast, really effectively, in a swift manner. But people, it's like I said, they're nothing. And to be honest, if something does come to the United States way as far as the threat goes, it's going to come through our border. So we need to empower Mexico and Canada. And to be honest, taking out the Mexican gun.
Here's a couple of things that I want to say. Well, with Stone, you're talking about money. I mean, it is unbelievable the amount of money that we spend. Like, you cannot even picture. Hey, am I coming out? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like, you cannot even believe the amount of money that we spend. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Not only giving them stuff, but also training. Just training one person costs thousands and thousands of dollars because they have to be certified before they go into this deployments, combat deployments, and not even mentioning when they have to hire people to cook food, to trucks, surveillance. I mean, all this supplies and resources that we need is just crazy. So, I mean, to answer Major League Shooter, I think our neighbors are taking advantage of us. That's what our neighbors are doing. I think we've been in this fight since 2001, and our neighbors are sitting down in the comfy recliners saying, you know what? The Americans would do it. And it's kind of what like Tommy was talking about. You know, the Americans would do it. Like, you have Turkey at the border with a cell phone making YouTube videos of ISIS, and they're just chilling there. You know, they're just like, oh, yeah, look at ISIS, guys. Oh, let's record him and put him in YouTube. You know, like, when are they going to do something about it? Because we have 22 guys killing themselves daily because PTSD, and the VA cannot even give you a stupid appointment. Because I went to the VA, and they told me they had 200 people in front of me, and they couldn't even give me an appointment. So, again, you know, our neighbors are out there, you know, all these Middle East countries just chilling, just drinking their freaking tea, and just depending on us to take care of business. So I'm starting to feel like they think we're stupid or something. Why don't they do something, and then we provide support in some kind of way? Got it. You know, ISIS is bad. We need to help. I understand that. So maybe we send a couple of missiles or something, or maybe we send a cadre of instructors. Maybe, you know, I'm saying maybe. Hopefully not, but maybe we send a couple of guys to give some advice, some of the senior leadership that could give some tactics and things like that. But when it comes to, you know, troops on the grounds kicking doors, why is it us? You know, the British do great things, and they were there with us. Why is this not like, I don't know, France or Spain or some stupid country out there? You know what I'm saying? Why is it us? And that's the question that kind of like bothers me. Why do we have to do it when there is about 300 countries out there, and we've been doing it since 2001? I mean, again, if we've been fighting for 2 years, I go like, okay, got it. But we've been doing it for 13 years, man. Like, when are we gonna tap you? It's your turn now, buddy. You know, when is it gonna be? Like why are we worrying about this crap?
Brazil, where you at?
Yeah, where you at, Brazil?
I mean, I think a lot of it is just desire. I mean, me personally, you know, I don't see a desire from another country to want to step up and do anything, and especially it just seems what seems most odd to me is because, you know, it's just like, you know, it's so easy for us to focus on the Middle East, you know, and associate that with terrorism, but I mean, just from what I've seen, I mean, it's pretty much everywhere. I mean, you look at some individuals. I mean, that whole, what was it, that stupid Stomp the Flag campaign that made my blood boil or whatever. You know, there's people who hate this country who are harmful right here. You know, and I think if any sovereign independent nation wants to stand up for its own freedom, what it believes in, then it's just like then go and do something. You know, or try to set the example of, you know, why is it better in your country? Why is there nobody, you know, destroying your buildings or running suicide bombers or car bombers into your country? You know, show us what's so different about it.
And
you know, take a stand for it.
Here's two things more that I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna shut up and give you guys an opportunity to talk. But I mean, these people have been fighting for years and years. I mean, I don't even know if it goes back to Alexander the Great. They've been killing each other with swords, knife. I mean, in Afghanistan, Iraq, it's not like the United States. Don't you think that you call, you know, I got an issue with Stone Guy, so I call him up, or maybe we go into court and maybe we argue. No, they take care of business by killing each other. I mean, it's very normal. Like, hey, what do you say about my mom? I'll be back with my AK-47 and kill you. That's how they take care of business. So it's not like I'm gonna sue you and go to the court. And no, they don't do that stuff. They kill each other, part of the culture. So they know how to fight. And the second thing is, here's the new president that took over, whoever he is. The first thing he did was take all the generals and all those big guys that the United States trained and replacing with their own tribe, because you have the Shias, you have the Sunnis, you have this. So again, the president took over, replaced the general, and placed new commanders based on the nomination as a Muslim. So now you have the troops arguing with the other guys because the whole religious, belief. So to me, it's like, all right, man, you know what I'm saying? If you guys don't want to fight because you're a Shia and I'm a Sunni or whatever, that's up to you. I think our troops do pretty well, respecting each other. So they don't even know how to respect each other. So, I mean, again, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. But how can we teach men to fight for the country? You can't teach that. Here, Carter, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, says that they had enough troops to fight. I mean, they weren't even outnumbered. So they have more than enough troops to fight, and they just give up. So now we're talking about sending our troops, our boys down there to fight for them. Hell no, man. That's my answer to that. Hell no. Take care of your own business. And I feel bad, man. I feel really bad because as a man, when you hear about 9-year-old females getting raped, I mean, that should boil, piss you off. Try that in the United States, and we're gonna let you know how that's gonna work out for you. But again, what can we do? You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Go ahead, man.
Me personally, as far as ISIS as a threat, as a whole body coming over here, I don't put a lot of time or faith into that. I think that they could spur lone wolf attacks. I think that they could, through social media, convince people over here in the United States to possibly start to carry out some sort of lone wolf attacks. But as far as ISIS putting boots on the ground in the United States, I don't buy into that. I personally feel like if there are such bigger fish to fry for the United States, such bigger things to worry about than ISIS. And it's a number of things, and it's a lot of things that we've been talking about tonight. It's securing our own borders, but it's also, you got to look at what China and Russia have been up to and everything that's going on with China and Russia. I feel like those are much, much larger threats to our national sovereignty than ISIS could ever be. You look at so many things, from the economy to the dollar to the basically the reduction of the U.S. dollar and how that fits into the Chinese economy. I mean, there's so, in my opinion, there's so many other things that are on a larger scale than ISIS. I feel like ISIS is basically a distraction. But like I said, I'm not saying that they couldn't cause, that they're not a legitimate threat. I don't think that they're a type of threat that we're making them out to be, or that the mainstream media is making them out to be. For me, there are much bigger players that have a hand in the demise of the United States, and they're not coming. I mean, they may have there may be partners from the Middle East, but these are our traditional enemies, who I think we got to keep our eye on. Especially China, the Chinese military, the Chinese Navy, which is starting to be on par with our own Navy when it comes to their submarines, when it comes to their training, all kinds of things. The things that they've been up to are not just by chance. There's something more at play. There's something bigger here. And I feel like that's a much, much greater concern than ISIS. As far as us sending troops over there to train people to fight for themselves, I think we should have already learned our lesson on what happens when we send to the Middle East to help train other troops. I mean, that's what we've been doing for the better part of 15 years in different theaters. When we see how that's going, especially if we're going to decide to back out at the last minute. So yeah, I don't agree with sending our troops to help train people to fight ISIS when they very well could stand up and fight for themselves. There's so many things about this.
Such a good point, dude. You make such a good point with the whole Russia and China. I mean, pretty much we're worrying about these people while they are destroying our economy. So, what do you got? What do you got, Alabama Owens? You got anything there? Let me give you a chance to talk. No? What about you, Nick?
You always call on me when I'm not paying attention.
I know you were like leaning back.
It's like the teacher, you know.
Yeah. So.
I'm not paying attention. Jarhead 6, Michael, what you got?
Hey, what do you? What kind of? What's you wearing the Amfi shirt?
Yes, sir. Pull out an old shirt.
Very cool, man. I got fat, so mine's kind of tight.
Rock on.
Have you? I heard Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a good way to lose weight.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? What you got to say? I know your brother. Your brother went to did some time in combat. How do you feel about sending your family, or I think you're pretty much in the same deal.
It's like you talked about with Fallujah. I mean, we had 2 battles in Fallujah. Mm-hmm. And we lost it. We lost it last January. When you actually brought it up there, I went and was looking at it before. Like the amount of resources and money and lives we put into Fallujah to lose it. I'm getting an echo.
Yeah, me too.
All right, I'll keep going here. No, it's back. Major League, I think it might be you. Check.
Go.
There we go.
Yeah.
To lose that, to give so much, it irritates me. But I mean, Delaware made so many great. Everybody on the panels made great points. And I don't know. I hate to see the bad things happen. I feel like at some point in time, somebody needs to do something. But I think, like everybody else, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being the country that has to go in. I'm tired of being the country that has to do everything. I think a lot of us are tired of war. We're tired of it. There's so many other things. I think Delaware made a fantastic point on China is building their own islands. I mean, that's an engineering feat on its own, but they're building islands. That if you look up, I think CNN or somebody actually they were live on some reconnaissance flight, and I believe China threatened to fire on them or something for a place that should be in all maps or anything is just what's the
international water?
There we go. Thank you.
Yep.
International water, and they're just claiming they're just building and claiming islands as their own in that area, and I mean Russia, as well as I don't know. I'm intrigued by Russia because I don't know. Putin just is crazy. You never know, but I think China is a big deal there. My main thing would be let's say we don't do anything, and I mean if it goes the way it's going, Iraq falls. For me, I think that's when it gets interesting for the fact of ISIS is obviously, I'm assuming, being supported by Syria and Iran. Is that correct? I believe so. I'm curious of the fact of how Iran plays into this, especially with the fact of our current administration seems to be very lenient on Iran, and will kind of just let them do whatever they want. Of how if Iran's going to come and say, oh, well, America, you guys screwed it up, we got to go save, I'm using air quotes, Iraq, or, hey, we're just going to take it, or, that's an interesting aspect, and, of course, then all the, allegiances that Iran has with other countries. That would be the only thing that might worry me, would be how Iran plays into the whole ISIS thing if Iraq falls. I mean, the way it's going, it seems to be Iraq will fall, because like everybody stayed here, for some reason these guys just don't care about their own country. So, man, I don't know. At this point in time, as bad as it sounds and as terrible as things are, number one, these people just don't care about human life. They just don't care. It's not like the same as you and me. They don't have the same, preservation of life or care of other people's lives, and just the appreciativeness of the gift of life that we have over here and in many other countries. But unfortunately, at this point, I would say let it burn. I don't know. I'm just tired of having to be the superhero.
Nick, I'm with you. What was it, 90 the first time we went into Iraq?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a little different.
We've been at war since, but really we've been at war since then.
Yeah, that was a little different with them invading Kuwait. I mean, that you can at least justify it. But at a certain amount of time, we've went in there, we've did it. You should be a self-sustaining country. We literally gave you all sorts of, military vehicles and money and, infrastructure, at a certain amount of time, if you can't do it yourself, if us basically giving you the best opportunity to become I'm using air quotes again, free country, and you can't do it and people aren't willing to do it, you will never be free if you're not willing to fight for it.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. And let me just say something real quick, because the other day somebody told me that I was lying and stealing valor. I wasn't in the military. So I got a staff sergeant cup. So this proves that I was in the military. So whoever told me, "Oh, you weren't in the military," shut up, dude. But anyways,
that's proof.
Yeah, this is proof. So here's the thing with that. We show them how to use guns. We gave in classes. We show them how to do tactics. We show them how to go in patrols. I went out with Afghani, in Afghanistan. I went out with Afghanistan troops. I mean, I remember being in a house in the middle of the worst place. This was the worst place in Afghanistan. And we had about, I want to say 6 to 10 Marines inside that house. We had a couple of squads hanging around, and a platoon of Afghani military. I mean, so our main support were Afghani soldiers, and the same thing happening in Iraq. So we did the same thing in Iraq. We gave in our weapons. I mean, these guys are walking around with M249 squad automatic guns. I mean, it's not like we shore them. We were like, hey, all right, listen, dude, I'm going to have the Glock 43 and you're going to have the Glock 42. We didn't do that. We gave in the same guns that we had. We told them how to fly airplanes. We gave them planes. And we told them how to fly them. We gave them all this crap. And what did they do? They messed it up. So, again, why will we do the same thing twice? I mean, and again, why did they mess up everything? Based in corruption. You got generals stealing the money, stealing this, not providing support for the troops, based on religious belief. I'm a Shia, so I don't want to hang around with the Sunnis, and all this crap. So again, 10 years later, not even 10 years, a couple of years later, we find ourselves in the same situation. So now we want to go, the media, are we going to go over there, countries, like, why would we go there and fix your issues again? Like that, I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying? I just can't fix your issues every time you go down. We ain't buddies. We ain't related. You're not my son. I do that with my kids. Every time my kids messed up, I'm there to help them out. But they're not our kids. They're not our children. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, everything that they want us to do, we already did it, and we did it excellent. So, I mean, I see Marines teaching classes. I know a lot of Marines that were assigned to teams to teach them how to use tactics. And by the way, some of those Marines were senior sergeants, infantrymen, 8 to 10 years in the Marine Corps, guys that knew how to kill the enemy. And they told them how to do it. And again, they're not doing it because whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because they're fighting over Shias versus Sunnis. It's like, I'm a Christian, so I don't like Tommy because Tommy's this type of Christian, and I'm another Christian, but we both believe in Christ. I mean, come on, dude. That's just retarded, dude. Like, seriously, dude. I mean, it makes no sense to me, man.
Yeah. This is something I want to touch on quick. Just about the Delaware Patriot was talking about how, we should be looking at, China and Russia and that kind of thing. We've already done so much work to try to stabilize other parts of the world. And it's like, at first glance, it's easy to see how, Russia, they're building a strong military force. In China, their economy is starting to grow. Their military is catching up to ours and that kind of thing. But just something that I've pondered about heavy lately is, if you look at both these superpowers, I don't think that starting any kind of major military action like a full-on war, especially with a country like the United States, I don't think it would be in their best interest right now. I mean, sure, it can seem plausible, especially with Russia and Ukraine and stuff like that. But me personally, I think if something's going to happen, and it goes back to what I was saying, we need to secure ourselves first. I think it's probably going to come out of nowhere. just because that's what history has shown us. You know, and why it's so important that, you know, if somebody does want to deliberately attack and go to war with the United States, you know, it's like, okay, well, we're watching the Middle East, we're watching Russia, we're watching China, and then out of nowhere, somebody else comes, just sucker punches us and catches us completely off guard. You know, as has happened in the past with other major conflicts. So, you know, I just think that's something that, you know, again, I think it just shows why we need to pay attention to just what's going on here. You know, just everywhere. And just again, we can help others fix their problems, but we need to be aware of our own gaps in security and where we need to be focusing attention on. You know, just for the purpose of safety.
To be honest, I think we need to be, in a sense, stronger as a country. Because the weaker we put ourselves, or the like, if like let's say we downsize the military, empower our enemies, while simultaneously taking away some of the power of our allies. Basically, what we have is third-party countries like Russia, China, and even second and third world countries like Iraq and Afghanistan and things of that nature, to, in a sense, grow a pair, for lack of better words. And that's when you know, stuff starts to get wild, which is exactly what we're seeing around the world. You know, right after we downsized our military, right after we started taking away power from countries who we've been allied with for years, like Israel, for example, what happened after that? You know, all of our enemies and second and third countries basically started growing a pair, like I said before, like Afghanistan, for example, or Iraq is probably even better example with this whole ISIS situation, or even Palestine, thinking that they can, you know, bomb Israel more consistently than they have in the past years, which, of course, you know, Israel stays getting bombed. But, you know, that's another country that needs our support and needs to be empowered, because they are surrounded by people of conflicting ideologies than themselves. So when you take that into consideration, we need to be the strong country. And if it's not us, then some of our allies need to be stronger alongside with us. You know what I mean? We need to also empower our allies. We need to make them stronger so that we can be stronger as a country. And with that being said, you know, if they're empowered, we, in a sense, don't have to do everything, because they can take the charge. They can take the lead from time to time. It doesn't always have to be us. But in order for that to happen, basically what needs to happen as a prerequisite is so that our, you know, allied countries be stronger. Like France, for example, Jarhead 6 pointed out the United Kingdom earlier. Those are great countries, very strong countries that should be empowered by us. And to be honest, our president, whoever it may be in this next coming election as well, he needs to also focus on empowering them as well. But that's, you know, my 2 cents, I guess.
We go back to babysitting. I mean, it seems to me like we babysitting these people. Like, listen, dude, there is a bunch of dudes that are trying to kill you and kill your family and kill your friend. How can you not empower yourself? I mean, if I'm sitting here and there's people trying to kill me, I don't need Mike to tell me, hey, dude, listen, you need to empower yourself. I'm just going to grab my, let me show my Glocks again, my Glock 43 and my Glock 42 Temple Index and take care of business. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? Like children's, man, like kids, like little kids. Like, your country is being taken over by bad people. Do something about it.
Right.
I mean, if and I go back to tell me, if I'm down in Pennsylvania down there with a bunch of my buddies killing people and killing your family, do you need, you know, do you need Nick to call you and tell you to do something about it?
No.
You know what to do and how to do it.
It's not going to be pretty.
It's not, exactly, man. That's the thing that kills me. Like, why don't you guys do something about it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why does it take us to tell you to defend your people? And it goes back to, like, the whole concept. Like, sometimes we need to let people fall so they learn from their mistakes. You know, like when you have children, sometimes they do something, and you kind of like sit down there and be like, all right, after he hit the floor and start bleeding, he's probably going to learn now to climb up on top of the table or something. That feels like, and I feel horrible because it's bad. You know, these people are bad, but but again, like, why are you guys not protecting your own people? It just kills me, man. Like I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it. Me personally, maybe I'm not smart, but I don't get it how you could allow people to kill your children. I don't get it.
Well, let's. Sometimes you have to. A lot of these questions that we ask, some people may say it's all tinfoil hat conspiracy theory type of stuff, but you got to understand.
Not in this panel.
No. You have to understand there's a reason for the United States to be in the Middle East, and it all comes back to oil, and it all comes back to the petrodollar. And you have to look at the fact that Saddam Hussein did not want to get on board, and he did not want to play nice, and he did not want to be on board with the petrodollar. So Saddam has to be taken out, right? So you got to have a reason to invade Iraq. And you have to create that reason. You have to get everybody on board, and you have to, and Bush 2 has to finish what Bush 1 started, because we never went in to Baghdad in the first Gulf War. We stopped short, right? And everybody knows that. And we all know that the United States was chomping at the bit to get back to Baghdad, to take out Saddam, but we needed a reason. That reason wasn't weapons of mass destruction. That reason was because Saddam didn't want to play nice when it came to the petrodollar and when it came to oil. And that's and when you look at the United States economy as a debt-based economy, that we are a debt-based economy. We must have debt in order for our economy to thrive. A huge part of our economy is oil and things that are dependent on oil. A large part of our oil comes from these Middle Eastern countries. Basically, we must ensure that that oil keeps flowing. Therefore, we must have boots on the ground. We must constantly have reasons to be over there.
Yeah.
And whether you want to be on the team of ISIS is created by our own government so that we continue to have a reason to be in the Middle East, or if you're on board with the whole fact that ISIS is just this extension of Al-Qaeda or whatever that has evolved, however you want to feel. But it's very easy to start connecting the dots to the oil, to the economy, to the petrodollar, and so on and so on. Yeah. And, that's where I look at all this. I see through it's a terrorist organization, not saying that it's not a terrorist organization. It doesn't matter. It's like I say, people talk about false flags. If our government creates false flags for their own benefit, okay, well, whether they do or whether they don't, whether ISIS is a false flag or whether ISIS is created or not created by our government, at the end of the day, it still affects us all the same, us as United States citizens and military personnel. It doesn't matter if it's a false flag or not, because you can still be caught up in the massacre, so to speak. So, whether it's created or whether it's real, the way they say, it still affects most of us the same at the level that we're at. So I look at it like that, and I also try to look at it objectively, and I also try to look at it as, hey, there is a much greater force behind every single thing that we're talking about right now, and these are major corporations, big oil, big pharma, et cetera, et cetera. That is what is behind a lot of what we're seeing, is these multi-billion-dollar mega-rich corporations.
Oh Lord, yeah.
They're feeding all these wars.
Yeah. With equipment, we're charging $1 million for a truck. And man, and I hate to think this way, but I was a young kid at one point. December 28th of 2002, I went to Iraq. I went to Kuwait, April, whatever, when President Bush gave the order, we went into Iraq for the whole, the war. That was like straight up the beginning. Rules of engagements were like totally different back then. And you know what I'm saying? I got it. But we got to do the right thing. But then we see countries like Cuba. Fidel Castro being there for 60 years. Fidel Castro kills people all the time. The Americans don't do anything.
Too. Right
there. Fidel Castro has a Russian nuclear bomb, whatever, 90 miles from Miami. We don't care. And it makes me think you know what that Delaware Patriot's talking about. There's no oil there. So to me, it's kind of like, look, man, I want to defend the country. I want to do good things. I want to be one of those. And I went to Iraq. I went to Afghanistan. All that crap. I spent 6 months in a ship in the middle of nowhere, hating life. And I get it. But you're starting to think as you get older and starting to realize a couple of things. And you're starting to realize that, like, why are we doing these things? You know, you actually got to think about it because, like, the Delaware Patriots talking about, you got companies out there selling trucks that cost $500,000, you know, with a camera that costs $200,000. And I worked with civilians when I was in Afghanistan. Those guys are making a lot of money. So to me, it's like, I don't know, man. I'm not convinced that is to the best of the country. It's hard not to think that people are taking advantage of our troops. You know what I'm saying? So
I actually, to basically go on with what Delaware Patriot was saying, as far as the oil and all that stuff, one of the very few things that I actually agree with our president, and believe me, very little, that I side with him on, is the fact that he was trying to go and push renewable energy out to the country, so that we can, you know, withdraw our dependency on, you know, foreign oil's country, which, to be honest, we don't really have to begin with because we got a, you know, oil supply up in Alaska. But renewable energy, to be honest, something that our country can get involved even more to basically how should I put this? Lose our dependency in the Middle East. Because yes, we do get a lot of our oil from the Middle East. Not all of it, but a pretty good, substantial amount. I think it's like 80%, something like that. It was some ridiculous number. Don't quote me on that, by the way. But the fact of the matter is, if we lose our dependency on oil and start focusing on renewable energy, in a sense, we're defunding some of these terrorist organizations, which get their money from these types of supplies. Not to mention, obviously, you know, some of their drugs and opium and, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's something our country really needs to focus on, because it's, to be honest, as weird as it sounds, it does help our country in terms of national security as well, and monetarily, of course, as well too.
man, I don't even. You know what, man? I'm not a smart guy by any means. To tell you the truth, man, I'm a rock. I guess I'm not completely stupid. You know, I do got a couple of college degrees. I don't even know how, but you know, so I read a book or two. But anyways, like it amazes me the kind of stuff that we see from
Was
this.
it a picture book?
Pop-up pictures.
It was a Brazilian book.
Yeah, I used my little kid to read it to me. Like,
You know,
every time I go to sleep, my boy reads it
And
to
the
me.
thing is, they don't even speak Spanish in Brazil.
No,
Yeah.
they speak Portuguese.
It's Portuguese.
Yeah. That's why it was so funny, man. Like, I was like, man, why wouldn't you call me like a dirty Puerto Rican or something? You had to call me like. But anyways, you know, it's funny to see the comments from the trolls. You know, I do appreciate all you guys watching. You know, the channel is growing a lot, and I mean, the other day we were at 6,000. We are at like 6,400 and something. So I really appreciate you guys' support. It's freaking awesome, dude. But dudes. But
I do have a quick question for the panel.
yeah.
What's your guys' take on Brazilian waxes? Because I was thinking about getting one.
I'll pass on that crap.
Oh.
But anyways,
Jarhead 6, you see that?
just
Jarhead 6, internal.
all right, cool, man. You want to do an outro?
Nah, that's good.
All right, we see you. Thanks for coming, man. If you haven't subscribed to Alabama Owens, go and subscribe. He's a cool dude.
See you guys later.
Take care,
Nice
buddy.
seeing you guys.
Take care.
Nice seeing
Bye.
you, brother. Bye.
So, I don't even know what we were talking about, man.
Brazilian waxes.
Yeah, Brazilian waxes.
Yeah. All right, so let's get in. Let's talk about it. Anybody got a new gun or anything to show off?
You do.
You always have.
on Saturday, on your chat on Saturday, I will be showing you one. California, we have this 10-day waiting period, right? So let's see. Today is the 1st. In 2 days, I pick up my gun. It's a Remington 870 Tactical Express Tactical, the Magpul edition, in a flat dark earth, and it's got all the cool bells and whistles that the Express Tactical comes with.
Oh,
So
are
I'm
you
actually
IPSC?
I'm sorry?
Are you IPSC or IDPA?
No.
Remington just ran a special for USPSA members. It was
Oh, man.
half price on all Remington products.
I wish I would have known that. I would have became member. But no, definitely. So on Saturday, if you bring up this question again, I will definitely be showing off a brand new shotgun.
Cool.
Nice. I actually just got a Ruger sent me a Ruger 1022 in the stainless with their new BX25 trigger.
Nice.
So you'll be seeing that here shortly on the channel. So it's a beautiful gun and a very sweet trigger.
I got the Tank 22 takedown model, and I really like. I got to take it out for a spin. 1022s are pretty cool. But what about you, Nick? You got anything going on? Any guns?
I got some work done to a gun.
Yeah, go ahead and show it off, because I know you sent me that picture.
Got it all titanium coated. So,
Let me see it again. We couldn't see it.
Here, let me pull the barrel out.
Yeah. Does that have any meaning, or that's just straight off for cool?
Technically, it's not a coating. It's technically a metal treatment, so it increases the hardness of the metal, and it looks cool. So
It looks like Salient Arms does some of that, don't they?
Yep. Yeah. There's actually several different There's actually harder coatings than the gold one, than the tin. I don't know the names of them offhand, but there's one that looks like a shiny kind of like metal chrome. There's one that gives like a blued kind of chrome effect, but it like rainbows in the sun. And then the hardest one is actually called DLC, Diamond Light Coating, and it's like a dark kind of rich black. It's really cool, but it's super expensive.
Cool. And again, does it do anything, or is it just for looks?
No, they all increase the hardness of the metal. So if you coat, so I have all my pins, I have my plunger, my locking block, my firing pin. So it's all increased hardness, and it's also has less friction in the metal, so it should make less wear on your firearm.
All right, cool.
And it's supposed to clean easier because it goes down to micron levels, so it should fill in all those little, those porous surfaces on your firearm. So it should make it really easy to clean.
Sorry, what's the company that does that for you?
It's not announced yet, unfortunately. So I can't say who it is, but it's somebody people will know that's not in the coating business that will be.
I told you Nick was in the firearm industry.
It's a personal friend, so that should pretty much give it away. But a friend of mine. We'll be announcing it shortly.
Well, I guess with your limited friends, we could do process elimination.
Exactly.
Does your friend make holsters?
Maybe.
Man, that wasn't hard enough, dude. That was so easy. So, you guys know I got the Glock 42, and man, the trigger on this gun is amazing, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine is heavier than heavy.
I like mine, dude. But then again, I'm a freaking all Marine, man. I'm used to crap. So to me, that trigger was good. You know what I'm saying?
If you can shoot a Beretta 92, you probably like it.
Yeah, when you compare everything to an M9,
Yep.
the trigger feels really good.
My Glock 42 is like I think it's currently 9 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, it's freaking heavy. I even ordered the Galloway Precision spring kit for the Glock 42, and it actually took it from 8.5 to the current 9 pound. I'm gonna try to order the new Ghost connector, but every person I've talked to has a great trigger on their Glock 42, except for me for some reason.
Well, I like mine. The reset is really good, and I think it's funny because, look, people, a lot of you guys ask me for gun advice, or what gun should I get, or this and that, or this gun is better. I don't know. When you compare it to the basic guy here in YouTube, I probably don't know anything about guns. I could pretty much pretend, but I don't do that because a lot of the reviews are just people pretending or reading from Google or something. I mean, I got guns that I like and guns that I don't like. That's on my review. I like the Glock 17 because it's cool and it's a cool gun. I mean, I hate when people ask me and compare guns, and I don't know all those little details. But pretty much the only thing that I do to guns is switch the sights. I got the Glock 43 here with Trijicon sights, like to the Glocks. I like switching the sights, and that's it, man. I don't do anything to the trigger. I just don't want to get comfortable. I don't want to like it, and then I want to do it to every gun. You know what I'm saying? So, but all right, let's do a little bit of concealed carry. Again, I appreciate everybody that's watching. I put a video out talking about concealed carry, and I said a couple of things to avoid to do. And here's a couple of stats that came across that was pretty interesting. New York, crime went up 20%. Texas, 45% went up. And I mean, so obviously in some states the crime is coming down. So, but in other places like crimes continue to go up. And I continue to tell people to carry a gun. You know, I think we all tell people to carry a gun. But I came around this video that I did, and I talk about somebody getting punched in the face, and I talked about that's probably not a good idea to take your gun out, and a lot of you guys put comments, and I probably should have explained a little bit more. And maybe Stone Guy, you're a cop. If somebody gets punched in the face, do you think that's like enough reason for you to take your gun out? Or can you give an example where it should not be? Or maybe, if it's...
If you're talking a one-on-one situation and it's just a fist fight, there's no weapons involved from an attacker, it's going to be very hard to prove that you were in fear for your life. In a one-on-one situation, now you can get into a disparity of force situation where there's several attackers, with no weapons. That if there's several attackers, you could be justified in using lethal force because of the disparity of force, 3-on-1, 4-on-1, etc. But it's just, again, that's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. I definitely wouldn't recommend anybody using lethal force in a fist fight situation.
Yeah. That was kind of like, I may redo a video and talk about that. That was kind of my thing on it. Excuse me. I mean, again, if you're an older lady and you're getting beat up by like Tommy or somebody, I don't know what Tommy does in his time off. But if
you don't want to know.
I know he has some dogs. If he has his dog scaring you and then he's like beating you up with his I don't know, then you can probably use your gun. But it's gonna be kind of hard to prove that, man. Just in a straight up fight, two guys. If you get punched in the face, you may just want to stand up and walk away because you have a gun. Now, one of the guys was saying, well, if the person tried to take the gun away from you, then you, I mean, again, yeah, everything is going to go to court. I mean, if you tried to take away my gun, I could assume that you have the intent of using the gun against me. But again, I could see that being in court, and I could see thousands of dollars being spent in lawyer fee, and I could just see like 2 years or court proceedings, and I mean, I could just see a horrible time in your future.
I'm going to steal a line from Trek from MDFI when he was on the show when we did something on this was, imagine you saying this and this being repeated in court. He swung at me, so I shot him. How's that going to go over?
Not well.
I think it depends too. Like, okay, like this might be a little the extreme example, but let's say you're like in an alleyway or whatever, and it's just one individual. You're obviously carrying concealed and everything, and the guy just starts out of nowhere doing like jujitsu, backflips, roundhouse kicks and stuff like that.
What are the fighters do, Eric?
Your life may be in danger, considering the fact that you can rationalize the fact that this guy may or be seriously trained. But of course, to prove that may be a little bit difficult because the court's not going to see this individual doing roundhouse kicks in the middle of the alleyway.
I guess if you get into a fight with a ninja, as long as you can prove that he was a ninja, I'm sure you're going to be okay, but...
All right, so on a more serious note, when I was taking my concealed carry class here in Delaware, and it was taught by a police officer, and he's a current police officer. He told us, look, if you fear for your life, you fear for your life, and it doesn't matter if it's from one attacker or multiple attackers. Bottom line, if you fear for your life, you fear for your life. If that person starts getting the upper hand and they start pounding your face in, or they're hitting your head on a curb or anything like that, or they're putting the boot to you, you have a right to kill them. You look at the George Zimmerman situation, and I understand that Florida has stand your ground laws, and that's a little bit different, but he was acquitted for what he did, and our instructor basically taught us the same thing. And he also taught us that, if they threaten to kill you, if they say, I am going to kill you at any point, whether it's prior to the attack, during the attack, or after the attack, you have a right to put a round in those people and take their life. And look, I'm in Delaware. We don't have stand your ground laws. You have to 100% be able to prove that your life was in danger. But he told us, if your life is threatened, you now have grounds to use lethal force. Or if you feel like you could be knocked out, or great bodily harm could be caused, not just death, but great bodily harm. So that's what I was taught.
Yeah.
I agree with just about everything you said, except it's kind of hard because a threat depends on the threat, if you will. Like, anybody can say I'm going to kill you, but a lot of the times, people don't mean what they say. Now, granted, I agree 100% with what you're saying, but
I was surprised if they tell me they're gonna kill me.
No, but it gets kind of difficult at that point because so when somebody just makes a basic threat or whatever, it doesn't mean they're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Now, if the guy says I'm gonna kill you and he presented a knife, you know what I mean, or he took out his gun, 100% justifiable to use your lethal force. Now, if someone stood in front of me and told me I'm gonna kill you, and his demeanor presented a level of aggression, I would probably simply present my level of force, but not use it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because at that point, it just gets a little bit, iffy, to be honest, in my opinion.
Well, I think
I feel you. I totally agree with what you're saying, and I feel what you're saying. But I'm just giving you an example of what I was taught in my concealed carry class. That once that threat is made on your life, according to the police officer that taught us, you now have the right to defend your life to the fullest extent. And that's all I'm saying is. Yeah. And they also made it clear that dead men can't tell their side of the story. Yeah. So.
I think it makes sense, but I also think that it has to make sense to others, because once you shoot somebody and probably kill them, a lot of guys are gonna. Well, I was in fear for my life. But does it really make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a 100-pound girl versus a 200-pound, 250-pound guy, it makes sense. But if you shoot like an old lady because I was scared for my life, it doesn't make sense. So I don't think that sentence, like I was scared for my life, it's gonna be questioned by people. So it has to make sense. And I like what you say about training. It is your responsibility to take training. So if you ever kill somebody, if you ever shoot someone, it's not going to be like, well, I didn't know. The moment that you decided to carry a gun, it is your responsibility to train on that gun. So you not knowing is not going to be an excuse. So if you decide to carry a gun, and this is some of the things that I tell people, people buy like 75,000 guns. Buy like 2-3 guns and then spend some money in training, and you don't have to take some of this cool training here in YouTube that they charge you like $1,000 a class. There's so many good instructors out there that charge decent prices. You got to remember, guys, here in YouTube, all these personalities that like to and build channels and then charge you $1,000 to run some drills. I mean, there's a lot of good instructors in your cities that you could probably learn a lot. Police officers and military guys that, you know, some of these guys have been shooting for years and years and years, and they're cops for like 20 years. I guarantee you some of those guys could teach you how to use a gun very, very well, and they're not going to charge you like a $500 a class because they own a YouTube channel. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Absolutely.
It did make sense.
yeah. Unless you want to train with the YouTube operators here, then go and take those classes.
Well,
Hey, you gotta keep in mind the responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends.
Oh, Lord. No, you didn't, there.
press checks.
Yeah.
You ever see a Brazilian press check? Totally different than the way we do it in the U.S.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do a part 2 on this brass check or press check, because everybody keeps talking and everybody keeps saying like, oh, you don't do a press check in a fight. Somebody's shooting at you, you're not gonna press check. And I just want to reply to every single one. If you get into a firefight and you actually press check, you're an idiot. So you don't need to learn how to press check. You just need to learn how to not be an idiot.
Yep.
Because who's gonna press check in a firefight? Is that even a topic of conversation? You do a press check before you leave as part of your pre-inspection checkup. Just like you check your flashlight to make sure you have good batteries, just like you check your rifle, just like you clean your gun, just like you do that. That's just part of the things that you do before. You don't do that during a firefight.
Right.
So,
I mean, you know, why do they put, round indicators on the chamber? You know what I mean? I mean, Glocks, they have a round indicator, so you know there's a round in the chamber. But I still do press checks before I holster my weapon every morning. I still make sure. It's just, even though I can stick my finger up there and I can feel that round indicator, I mean, that's just, it's ridiculous. The whole press check thing is ridiculous.
And you know what? I seriously doubt that you, Navy SEALs, Special Forces, one of the top Special Forces in the whole planet, like the guys that will kill you and you don't even see them coming, I seriously doubt that they go, oh, firefight, we're going to do a press check. Those guys know how to kill people. Trust me, they are experts. When you need somebody to be killed, that's who you call. Not even the Marines. You call the Navy SEALs. So whatever they do, if you ever take a class from the Navy SEAL, whatever they do, you do it because they are awesome. So, I don't know, man. You know, topics, titles.
Just so you know, Navy SEALs Temple Index.
Well, I'm going to start Tempo Index then. I take back everything that I say about Tempo Index.
Coming 2000.
What do you guys carry?
The Jarhead 6 Operators Firearms Training Center.
Glock 19 for me.
Nice.
Ruger LC9.
Major League Shooter, you mute, bro.
This is my preferred concealed carry right here.
Yeah.
I just tucked this into my waistband. You know, it's very subtle,
Never
and
know.
I'm good to go.
That didn't work very well for the guy trying to steal it.
I carry.
You guys see
I have to
that?
carry my bazooka. No, yeah, but that guy that's trying to steal that freaking AK-47. Oh man, why would you try to put that in your pants?
Yeah.
Why not?
I know you're in California, but this is what a 30-round magazine looks like in a real.
Hey, we have those too, except they're blocked off in 10 rounds.
That's not a mag. That's a clip. That's a 30-round clip that shoots 20,000 bullets in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's California logic right there. Best
Uh,
band spoons and forks because they make people fat.
Well,
I carry a Glock 17.
I carry an MMP-45.
Oh, jeez.
Like I said,
I do carry a
my
Glock
wonderful
23
Glock
too.
19.
Oh man, I actually been carrying the Glock 43, and I've been pocket carrying this gun. And here we go. Oh, pocket carry is not tactical enough. I don't care. I pocket carry this thing, and I went to Walmart, and I got a video coming out tomorrow about pocket carrying the Glock 43, and it's comfortable, and I went to church with it, and I feel happy pocket carrying my Glock 43, and I want to continue because, again, people, carry what you want, how you like it, but carry a gun. That's it. I don't care. I mean, there's better ways, you know. Definitely, if I get into a firefight, it's gonna be better if I'm at 3 o'clock, at 1 o'clock. But you know what? That's when situational awareness comes around. If you're actually paying attention and not stuck to your phone, you're probably gonna see it coming, most likely. But you know, I just not gonna make. I hate when people make the gun part of, you know, it's part of my life. I'm not gonna adjust to the gun. The gun is gonna adjust to me. That's the way I look at it, you know. So, can you use a Kaide holster for that AK-47?
That'd be awesome.
Oh Lord. Tyler East, I carry a Brazilian.
I just tuck it in my pants. You know, it looks normal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why you get those Brazilian waxes. You got to keep, you know.
Absolutely. I gotta have when I
out faster.
Quicker draw.
That's right. Less friction that way.
What's a good
All right,
Brazilian?
so if you guys got any questions, make sure you put it in the comments. I think we covered ISIS. We talked a little bit about concealed carry. We don't even know what to talk about right now. If you guys got questions, put it in the comments and we answer the questions. If now we're coming up to like how much time? I don't know.
About an hour and a half.
Yeah. If we don't get anything, we'll talk about something else. Is now we cut it off. But again, you guys want to talk about any concealed carry issues, things not to do, things to do, things that you guys have learned during your past however many years carrying a gun?
Hey, my thing is be armed. You know what you're doing, know the basic fundamentals, know the safety of the firearm, know how to, you know, effectively apply rounds downrange. But most of all, carry a damn gun.
Yeah.
Something I want to throw in real fast while we're on the CCW thing was something that me and one of my best friends just did. It was actually Memorial Day. We went out for the range for a while, and you know, I know some states they do require you to take a class before you can actually get a concealed carry permit and all that. You know, I agree with it and I don't agree with it, but the one thing for certain that I want to stress to anybody that is wanting to carry a gun or who does carry a gun is you need to get out and actually like train. You know, and it's like one thing that we were doing was, you know, again, I had the LC9, you know, like right now as I carry it every day, you know, and like normally I don't carry with the round in the chamber, but I was actually, you know, putting one in, and we were actually running drills where, you know, from, you know, pretty much, you know, I had my hands up in a static position, and it was, you know, just basically just getting the gun out, you know, and getting rounds on target, you know, and just it's in a timely manner. So, and I was getting it down, like, you know, I was getting the gun out and pulling double taps off in about 2 seconds. So, that's...
Now, there's a
What's up?
There's a topic all in itself. Why in the world do you not carry a gun with a round chamber?
I know. I've
agree.
been doing that for as long as I've been carrying, and that's since I've been 21, so I know.
That's going to get you killed one day.
I understand, but I mean, at the same time, like, where I was going with that was that added my level of confidence, so... More,
What do
you
you mean?
know, pretty much. That's something I am going to start. Yeah, I'm going to change up now. Is actually carrying with one in the chamber at all times.
Yeah, please carry with one in the chamber.
Absolutely.
You know what, man? I'm glad you said that because it's okay to go through the process. You know what I'm saying? Like at one point we were not comfortable with a gun. I mean, it happens. You know, everybody has to go through the process, and my wife went through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she did not want to have a round in the chamber and all that good stuff. And now she doesn't have an issue. So I think a lot of guys kind of not get scared, but a lot of guys, you know, get intimidated here in U2 because you got dudes saying you need to carry 2 Glocks 19 and 6 spare mags. You know, so for you guys trying to carry for the first time, it's okay to go through that process. Maybe you want to carry your gun in females in a purse, then you actually go to your body. Maybe you carry a condition 3 gun, and then you finally go into having a round in the chamber. I mean, you're gonna go through that process to feel comfortable carrying the gun. So, I mean, to me, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get scared because, like I said, you know, you want to shoot a gun here, shoot my AK-47. Start people with a 10-22. You know what I'm saying? So they enjoy it, and then they keep learning, and finally they're gonna carry a gun. I mean, if you give me this MMP 45 for the first time, I would have been like, oh man, screw that. This thing is huge, and now I love it. So anyways, that was my point on that. That it's okay to go through the whole process. So
Yeah, I like how you said that thing about those spare mags. You said 6 spare mags, which is, to be honest, a little excessive. But hey, if that's what you want to carry,
I don't.
no, but I always people always ask me why I carry an extra magazine if most firefights don't last past a few rounds anyways. And my answer is always simple. You know, the number one thing that fails is typically not the firearm itself, but the magazine. So if the magazine fails on you, you have an extra one. You know what I mean? So it's not because I'm expecting this major wild west gunfight over here. No, it's not that. It's because I acknowledge the fact that magazines fail from time to time. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I always carry a spare magazine, just because I carry a spare magazine. I mean, that's it. There's no reason because I've read that magazines fail or anything like that, or I'm going to get into this shootout where I'm going to need all these rounds. I just want to be able to reload my weapon if I need to, and that's it. For me, that's why I carry a spare mag, is because, 1 is none, 2 is 1 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just like you were saying.
I just carry 6 Glocks. I find it
Well,
easier.
that works too.
Yeah.
Are they Brazilian Glocks?
Yes, they are.
Well, here's the thing, man. This is what I've been carrying right here. A Glock 43. I made up this. I got a video coming out tomorrow about this. I made up this holster. Like, I cut it off and whatever. It works okay.
Did you make it out of a koozie?
No, I made it out of one of those Black Hawk, whatever, number 6 something holsters.
Oh.
I just cut it. It works okay. And on my pocket, and I've been carrying this extra mag. Not every time, but I've been carrying this extra mag in my cargo pocket. So this is the rig that I've been carrying. It works okay. I like it, but I'm guilty, man. Sometimes I don't carry an extra mag, and just because I'm lazy, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I definitely recommend you to carry one, but I've been lazy. So
I don't have a problem. Oh, go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, okay, thanks. I want to make sure I was there. I lost my connection for a second, but no, I was just going to drop it and say, that's something as well that I've added recently to my carry is an extra magazine, and I just figured just because, why not, I mean, whether a magazine fails, if I have to reload, just like with anything else that we factor in with concealed carry, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So,
what you got, Nick?
Oh, I was gonna say I don't have a problem with people that carry smaller guns or ones with less rounds. It's just I think you just have to say that what you carry might change the fight. So for example, take an active shooter situation. If you're carrying a gun that might have 6-7 rounds, well, guess what? You probably should not go out. Not that you would in any situation, but theoretically, you wouldn't go out and actively seek to try to stop a shooter because you have to hold on to those 6-7 rounds.
Yep.
If, for example, I'm carrying a Glock 17 with 17 plus 1 rounds, okay, that might change the story. So, carry a gun is number one important. But if you carry whatever you carry, you have to just put some thought into okay, if different type of situations come along, the gun that I'm carrying might change my reaction. So especially that might be something too. If you carry multiple different guns, I'll carry a Glock 42 sometimes. So what gun I am carrying may dictate how I react or act in a situation. So that's all I ever tell people.
That's knowing your capabilities, knowing what you got, how to use them, and that's something that we've been preaching for a while here too. But I mean, again, every time I hate doing EDC videos because, like I said in my last video, I feel like a hypocrite because I'm not going to show you like 6 ways to make a fire and 3 guns and 7 magazines because that's not part of my life. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I like going to the park with my kids and having 6 ways to make a fire. It gets in my way. Now, if something happened and I got to make a fire, I guess I'm screwed. Hopefully I hang around with you and you have 3 ways to make it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do those things. So when you guys ask me to do EDC videos, I don't, like my videos are boring. Like here's my EDC. I mean, but a flashlight and that's about it. I mean, I think that's the bare minimum that you should carry, and I think you're gonna be okay. And like today, I saw a video of this guy carrying 2 Glock 19s. If you find yourself in a firefight Yeah, are you better protected than me? Of course you are. You know, you're like, hell yeah, you got 2 Glock 19s, man. But if we're gonna play that game, I could give you a situation where 2 Glock 19s are not gonna be okay. Because if you find yourself in France fighting those 2 guys with AK-47, your 2 Glock 19s are nothing against an AK-47. Remember, a pistol is nothing against a rifle. So we could play that game all you guys want, you know, but.
Yeah, that's definitely something to think about. Just because, especially, about why you carry a gun and the fact that a handgun, whether it's pistol, revolver, this is a last resort.
Mhm.
And just like again, I mean, people talk about it, about being in a firefight and all this stuff, but it's like, I don't know if you guys like ever see, like surveillance footage of something that might happen. 'Cause I know what happened like here not too long ago was okay, if whoever watched the original Dawn of the Dead, okay, that was filmed in Monroeville Mall, short distance from where I live. There was a shooting there not too long ago, and like you can see, it was in the Macy's part of the store where, basically, a kid standing in one of the corner in one of the, wherever in the store, and basically just goes up like this, gangster style, and starts shooting, just starts popping rounds off, and everyone just scatters, and it's like I watched that, and of course, the news, blabbing about it, and I was just asking myself, now what would I do? And I'm thinking to myself, if I was in there, either by myself or with my family, I just want to get out. At that point, I want to survive, and I'm not going to put myself in any kind of situation where I might be in danger. I mean, at that point, if that happened and I was there, I'm not taking my pistol out unless, from where I am to my pickup truck, in between there maybe, but as far as the whole situation goes, I just want to get out and survive.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I think training is gonna, like we preach about training, we all talk about training, but again, if you haven't taken any training, if you think your training is to go into the pistol range and pull your pretty target and shoot at, and that's it, that's not training. I mean, there's so many factors that's gonna take place. So if you got a revolver, 5 shots, and you know how to use it, and you do some real good training, I think you're a more effective weapon than a guy with a Glock 19, 15+1 that never done any training and think that he's cool because he has a cool holster, So training is gonna make you survive a situation, man. How do you react to that? Because trust me, when people are shooting at you, I don't care how much training you have, you're gonna duck. You're gonna put your head down. It's just a person. That's what people do.
All I know is that nothing will ever happen here in California because every magazine that's over 10 rounds is outlawed.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as 10-round magazines here. Even the criminals don't have them.
Criminals, no.
Well,
I hope you guys noticed my sarcasm.
In California, the government protects you, right? They're there to protect you.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, yeah, we're so taken care of. I love my government. Who needs 10-round? Who needs anything over 10-round magazines?
That's okay until the gay Brazilians invade and they have 11 rounds.
Remind me in the next chat not to tell you guys anything. This is my fault because there's only one rule. If you ever want to be in this chat, there's only one rule to be here. Don't curse. Other than that, or if you curse, just kind of like hold yourself back. Oh, let me not do that. Other than that, you can say whatever you want, but I think Saturday I'm going to say don't curse and don't call me Brazilian.
You know what's going to happen even in the comments, right? People don't forget, and all your regulars are going to get on and be like, hey, look at the gay Brazilian.
Hey, here's the thing. Shout out to all you guys watching out there. TR Prepper, Mattel, G Mangos, Mutt, Beretta 9mm. If you haven't subscribed to Beretta 9, he has so many cool guns, man. It's unbelievable. He has a lot of cool guns. So, anyway, shout out to all you guys. But I was gonna say something and I forgot. Let's go TVI. What was I gonna say? Okay, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Go ahead. Anybody else?
Well, based on your recommendation, I literally just subscribed to him.
Oh yeah, he has some cool guns. I want to say his son and him always doing some shooting, some really cool guns out there. But yeah, I had something that I wanted to say and I totally. So Hey Nick, how's your gun coming out, man? Your ultimate conceal pistol.
Well, I just got it tin coated, so that's pretty good. Well, we'll get a chance to run it because I'm headed up to MDFI this coming weekend for 2 classes, so we'll get a chance to run a little bit.
All right, cool. Where's that classes are gonna be? You said Michigan or something?
Yep, Bellevue, Michigan. So if there's anybody out there, there's 1 spot left in the Sunday class.
Okay. I like those guys. They just sometimes you could just listen to a person and the way they speak is like, you can know the good people. I can't.
No,
Man, I could be totally wrong, but
No, they're what I like about them a lot is they're not ego driven at all.
Yeah. What's
That's why they're
got
on
on
the
non
show.
lethal?
So. Huh?
What's your episode on non lethal tactics and all that good stuff?
That was episode 66, the one I talked about with.
Yeah.
He swung at me, so I shot him.
Yeah, got it. Go and check out that episode, man. That I watched the whole thing while I was cleaning around the house, and yes, JH6 clean. You gotta help your family, guys. You gotta help your wife, and not all the time. But, yeah, hashtag JH6 clean. Yeah, really good information. Those guys know a lot of good stuff. So. All right, what else we got? We got anything else, guys? Anything else you guys want to talk about? I think we're coming up to the end. Like I said, I appreciate all you guys watching. Anything else? You got anything coming up into in your channel? Tell me.
Not off the top of my head. Like I said, I'm still working on getting some home improvement projects done here and there. And we'll just see where it goes. I just got to think about where I want to move next with my channel. Definitely got more reviews coming. So I know. I can tell everybody here likes Glocks. I just picked up a new Model 27 the other weekend. Well, it's not new. I traded my LCR for it, but that's something I'm working on right now. And just it's one of those things. My LCR 38 had become a safe queen, so I was like, well, I really don't need this anymore. So just working on that, and just we'll just see where it goes. Like I said, definitely more stuff to come either way. So I'm looking forward to sharing it with everybody.
Cool. Man, I want one of those.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah, I love this baby.
What about you, Major Lee? You got anything going on?
Well, yeah, I got a few things lined up, to be honest. I don't want to really say them because, it kind of ruins it for all the viewers. I do have a lot of things, to be honest, lined up, but you guys have to bear with me. I just had a kid, you know what I mean? So it's kind of difficult to find a medium right now. So basically what I'm doing is making a video, waiting a few days, and making another video so that I don't basically throw a bunch of, neglecting my kid, I should say, because he obviously newborns require a lot of attention. But yeah, no, I definitely have a lot of things lined up. And as soon as I get my as soon as I get my new shotgun that I was mentioning earlier, I'm gonna do an unboxing video on it because, to be honest, that's a really, really nice shotgun. And yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. So that's as much as I'm gonna say as far as the videos that are coming up. But yeah, check it out.
Cool, bro. What about you, Nick? What you got going on? Can you tell? Any? Somebody asked about training. G Mangles. If you're gonna get training, who are you gonna train? Let me find the comments. Anyways, he was asking about training. You know any good training companies out there?
I mean, like, are you talking like if I was gonna train with one person, who would it be?
Yeah, kind of thing. I don't know much about trainings out there in the civilian life, so.
I mean, right now, if I could hand pick who I would train with, probably would be William Petty, who just signed with. He now works for Costa Ludus. He does all their firearms instruction, which I'm a little jealous of Stone Guy because Stone Guy is in Texas, I believe, so it was really near him. But William Petty has insane vehicle low light stuff, which he came on the show for. Talking about it's like some Ferguson riots, stuff like that. But he would be the dude I'd go with. Otherwise, again, MDFI, which I'm headed up to this weekend. And then also, in case anybody out there is watching that wants to join, June 27th and 28th, I'll be at the Critical Handgun and Critical Carbine classes in Alliance, Ohio with Sentinel Concepts, Steve Fisher. So if anyone wants to go to those classes, sign up and I'll be there.
I don't know if I'm welcome in that class.
Yeah, you are. But Tatiana Whitlock will be there too, for those that have seen her on my show and know she's one of the coolest women in the firearms industry, hands down. But that's about it for here, just doing some classes.
Anything else? You got anything videos coming up? Any videos?
Just the regular shows. That's all that's planned. It depends on. Oh, I mean, I'll have a bunch from the classes, and that'll give a lot of time to finally reviewing some products, and I don't know. This year is I'm just challenging people to get out and train this year. That's my goals, is to get out and train this year. So that's what I challenged people to do, was get out and take some training.
Cool, bro. Cool. What about you, Stone Guy? You got anything going on?
Yeah, always searching out training. I'm actually in Atlanta.
Okay, well, you're close to Sage Dynamics, which would be on my list too.
Yeah, Sage Dynamics. I've got to talk with. Oh shoot, his name just escaped me. But
Aaron Cowan.
Aaron, thank you. I met him at the Iraq Vet Shoot, and then we talked here and there, and so he's a super cool guy. He's law enforcement as well, and then runs a training school. So definitely check out Sage Dynamics for any of you guys out there. Head Down Firearms. Head Down's also in Dallas, Georgia. They do a lot of great stuff over at Head Down. Of course, everybody knows Rob Pincus. Just had him on the show a couple weeks ago. He's awesome. I'd recommend doing his training course. Frank Proctor, Way of the Gun. He's a good trainer that I would search out. Anyway, so that's kind of my take on trainers that are somewhat local to me.
If you had to pick one Stone, who would it be?
That's tough. As of right now, I can say I've never trained with Aaron yet. I'd probably say Frank Proctor, because I've trained with him before, just based on what I know and what I've seen.
I heard it's just mind blowing in his classes, just like.
Yeah, he's pretty right. He's pretty legit.
Well,
so, anyway, but then obviously on my channel I'm going to do constant gear reviews, company reviews, starting to focus a little more on that. So I appreciate everybody that tunes in and watches that. This Thursday, I'll have John McQuay from 8541 Tactical will be on the show. So definitely stay tuned for that. He's a super cool dude.
Great channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, if worse comes to worse, you can always join the Corps. The Marine Corps will teach you how to kill people.
But the Army will do it more efficiently.
Oh! Don't go there. Don't go there.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
Typically it's funny because typically I got like 2-3 Army and I'm the only Marine, but not today. Today we're in the house. Today we're representing, bro.
How the tables have turned.
Yeah. Man. It's all good, man. We got so many cool guys here in the channel. Army, Navy, bunch of cool dudes. Even Air Force. So, what about you, Delaware Patriot? You got anything going on that you want to talk about?
Not really, man. I just, same old stuff that I always have going on. Just keep your eye out on my channel. You never know what I'm going to post or what kind of video I'm going to put up. I've been in a lot of chats lately. I'm on with Luke Banter from ASIM a lot, Shammer, Matt from Resist the Tyranny. So check out their channels because I'm usually on with those guys a lot. Good stuff going on there. My advice: just be prepared for whatever life has to throw at you. Keep your eye on what's going on around the world. Keep your eye on what's going on right here in your country and in your own town. Fight the good fight. Always be prepared for whatever you're doing, and as I always say, when bending over to tie your shoes, make sure there's no Brazilians behind you.
You don't always say that. That just started today. Oh, Lord.
Thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it. I really do.
Same here, brother. For real.
No problem, man. I'm reading the comments. Corey or Jarhead? Like seriously, man.
Yeah, I was reading those two. I was like watching it. I was just laughing.
Well,
Corey does have a hot wife now. Come on.
oh, my wife is hot.
Are they even married?
No, you talking about Corey and Erica?
I have no idea, but
No, they're
Yeah.
not married. He hasn't even given her a ring, I don't think yet.
all right, let's secure that.
Yeah.
Let's secure that for when we go off.
that
for
one's
later.
down for me for a while now.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, we definitely appreciate you guys watching as always. Thank you so much. Some of you guys out there that always support, always like, always share the videos. We really appreciate that. Stay tuned in the channel. I got more videos coming out, typically around 7 p.m. Eastern time. But I mean, I'll play around with the time. But I'm probably gonna, one every day almost, or 4 or 5 a week. I do a lot of videos. I'm trying to put a lot of content out there. Appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. The channel is growing up. I mean, it's growing crazy, and I really appreciate that. So I don't know what else to say. I appreciate it, guys. God is in control.